Alright, sitting here waiting for the car to warm up sufficiently for me to drive. Goodness knows how long this is going to take when winter hits. Alright. My name is Lance Ash, and this is my program I do where I talk in the car on my way to work. Oh, okay, time to go. The little blue light went off, so now I can drive. Having to park in a weird spot. This is not going to work. I slept extra long today, and so I had to rush everything to get done before I leave to go to work. I don't have any topics for today. I tried to set my mind all weekend towards coming up with some topics, and I never could come up with any. But we'll see what we can come up with. God, there's trash all over the road. I know what we can do first. Well, let me fix the air conditioning. It's too damn cold in here. Since the Subaru engineers decided that the best thing to do would be to have a radio that never turns off, I have preset most of the presets to fuzzy AM stations, and that's what's on right at the moment. 7:30 AM, which is picking up just static. God, somebody knocked somebody's mailbox down. You know what? The county came through and cut the edges of the road, trimmed the grass on either side of the road. I bet they knocked the mailbox down. A lot of weird stuff going on around here lately. Hold on a second. Alright, got the damn sun right in my eyes. Alright, before I pull out the CDs, go through them, I watched Peep Show again, as usual, on YouTube while I was painting over the weekend. And in the show, the character Jeremy is in a band with Superhands, which is another character in the show. And it's this basically electronic dance music. I'm trying to get a handle on what specific genre the band is supposed to be part of, because I want to know what genre of music these characters in this particular time period, which is the early 2000s, are meant to be into. And I watched one of the episodes wherein Jeremy describes their music as electro dub. So I kind of explored that a little bit online, and I thought a little bit about what do I have in my collection that's broadly speaking related to that. And I didn't find much, but I found a couple of things which are in the bag now. So hold on, let's see what we got here. Alright, number one, I have The Cure, Blood Flowers, which is a really good record, and which Robert Smith tried, when the record came out, Robert Smith tried to promote it as the third part in a trilogy, beginning with the album Pornography, continuing with the album Disintegration, and then finishing up with Blood Flowers. And nobody really bought it because there was no indication that there was any trilogy planned in the beginning, nor that it really fits in any way with the other two conceptually. But I think it's a really good record. And it's probably the last good record they ever did. Hold on. Alright. Next, I have Bob Mould, Black Sheets of Rain. This is a really good record. And one that I wish I had time to, listen to again and again to really soak it up. though I have other records. Hold on, I'm going around a curve here. Alright, next. Bloomfeld, Testament der Angst. This is the next to the last Bloomfeld album. It's really good. Next we have Mixmaster Mike Spin Cycle. Mixmaster Mike is a DJ working in the hip hop field, who this record is like it's a bunch of other hip hop artists that he's taken all these different songs and redone them as a collection. Sounds like the CD isn't. I'm not going to open it because I'm driving with one hand already, driving with one knee. But anyway, it sounds like the CD's not connected to the tray. Next we have Massive Attack, Mezzanine, their big record. This is another one that I've heard about, seen for years and years, and I got it a couple months ago finally at a thrift store or something, and I need to explore that. Then we have Bill Laswell, Dub Chamber 3. Alright, next, Rollins Band, The End of Silence. I shoplifted this from Kmart probably in 92, and I had never heard of him, didn't know anything about the album. I just, when you're getting stuff for free, you can just take your pick, based on cover art. And I saw the cover and I was like, this is interesting. Muscle Man on the back here. I wonder what this is about. And that's basically how I got into Rollins, and then later Black Flag, and Greg Ginn's solo work to a slight extent, although his solo work is pretty bad. This record is just a slab of I'm gonna say drudgery, sludgy proto-metal. Alright, then we have The Cure's self-titled record. This is where Robert Smith decided that he had explored a certain sound for long enough, and now he's going to go off into a different direction, and it's not like his previous work. And then The Cure 413 Dream, which is, I'm going to give it another shot, but it's pretty bad as far as I can tell. And we're back where we started. Alright, trying to come up with some topics here. I finally got tired of just dithering around on YouTube, and I deliberately looked up some stuff I wouldn't normally look up, and I got some suggestions, and I tried to watch some of these videos that are like the top 10 most disturbing channels on YouTube, and people promise so much and then deliver so little. They don't, spit out the information. Don't drag it out. In 2015, a YouTuber named Dingleberry 15 put out a video that was so disturbing. I don't know. A lot of the videos are geared towards visual, and I understand that. We're going to take a tour around this little town in the Netherlands and look at this. I want something I can listen to. Why don't you listen to podcasts, Lance? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I need to look into that. But a lot of the time, those types of things are geared towards like a round table. We're going to have 3 or 4 people in the room, or talking. And what do you think, Marcia? No. 2 people is about the limit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to come up with something to say here. I had a sort of revelation Saturday morning. I decided to go with my wife and son when we dropped him off at his work where he works. And there's a lot of tension in the car. My wife can't stand the way I drive, and she just acts like she's going to die any minute. And so there's a lot of tension over that. And I brought all this music I wanted to listen to, and of course nobody wants to hear it, and it's too loud for some people and too quiet for others. Anyway, so we're coming home, and I had in mind, I had been looking at the work of various French cartoonists. And when you look up specific French cartoonists, they have pictures of them, not only pictures of their work, they have pictures of them at their in their studio, at their work table, drafting table. And they've always got a cup of coffee beside them, and a lot of them smoke, and they've got a cigarette, and there's a window beside them looking out on beautiful cityscape. And I had all this in my mind, right? And I said out loud as I'm driving home, I want a better life. This situation is intolerable. I want to have the kind of life where, you can't have a perfect life, obviously, but I want the kind of life where I'm a little more immersed in the sort of aesthetic experiences that mean something to me, that resonate with me. And I want to have more time to do my work, do my real work. And hard on the heels of this announcement, my wife said nothing in response to this, but I thought I had seen, somebody had posted a video. It was too long to watch, but it was something about the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, and I was intrigued, so I looked up his philosophy, and one of the books, the famous book he wrote was called Meditations, and it's got aphorisms in there, and one of them was, don't worry so much about trying to be a good man, just be one. Meaning, if you just decide to be a good man, then you'll naturally start to be one, and you don't have to fumble around so much with figuring it out first. And I thought about that in the context of living a better life, and maybe I should just decide to start living a better life rather than deciding to get everything the way I think it should be before announcing, okay, now I'm living a better life. I gotta try to figure out what that would entail, though. Probably watching less crap on TV. Are you going to get in front of me? Go ahead. No, guess not. I think curtailing my watching of the news is a good way to begin, because it does nothing for me. There's no benefit to it. All it is bad news, and the whole presentation of it is designed to evoke an emotional reaction in the listeners. Mainly one of getting you worked up, making you anxious. So that's a good way to begin, I think. I don't know what else it would entail. Because I'm already squeezed to the limit, you know. I already try to make time every day for all these little things that I do that are beneficial to me, are aesthetically satisfying. One of my things I used to do was to go to the university library, and up on the 7th floor is where all the art books are, and I would just randomly browse. There's no telling how many things I discovered that way, how many different artists and things. Well, I can't do that anymore. Circumstances. And as a substitute, I've look up images online, and I've bookmarked all these names, and it's just hard to go through them. So I do that a lot, though. You know, there's so much stuff on the internet, and it's a valuable resource, but at the same time, it's amazing how poorly laid out it is. Everybody wants to make money off ads on their site, and so everybody's site is cluttered up with crap. But I have found a lot of stuff. You just want to see the images better. It's amazing to me how hard it is to get across to the computer, the program, the search engine, exactly what it is you want to look up. Well, a little news. I went to see, normally on Friday evenings, I call my mother. Just stay in contact with her. Well, this time I decided I really don't want to talk to her on the phone. So I asked my wife, do you want to go with me down there to visit them? My sister lives with her. So we went down there, stayed about an hour. My mother is really losing it. She can't hear worth shit. She's got these earbuds, and they're supposed to, if you know, listen. She was supposed to use her phone as an amplification device. So she puts the earbuds in and sets the phone down in the middle of us, and it doesn't work worth a shit. And she's just sort of, after a while, she's just resigned herself that she can't participate in the conversation, so she sits there kind of despondent. And you feel bad for her, but... And she can't think of words. She tries to tell you something, and she just... What's that word? I'm trying to think of that word. I can't... Oh, God, what am I trying to say? My sister announced that this guy she's seeing in Montana is coming to visit here for a couple of weeks. And of course she's going to want to introduce him to me, and I'm really trepidatious about the whole thing because I've already formed an image in my mind of what kind of person he is. By the way, I found out he's 61. My sister's 51. And lives in Montana and is a quote-unquote rancher. So I've already got it in my head that he's a Trump supporter and that he is against immigration. It's a host of characteristics I've already decided that he has, and so I don't want to meet him. On the one hand, I do want to meet him because it's another person. I can say, "Oh, come up to the house and I'll show you my paintings." But then there's the inevitable reply or response that I'll have to deal with is, "I don't understand, Lance. You're so good at these. Why aren't you making $1 million selling your paintings? Why are you bothering working at the post office when you can paint like this?" That is the response. Oh, God. I ought to call this the downer episode. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not depressed. I really am not. It took me a long time to get into the weekend mood this weekend, and I did finally, and then it's like, oh, now it's over. I guess we're approaching the end of the show. Try to think real quick here. God, I'm about 5 minutes late getting to this point. Fuck!